So we are now November the 2nd. We're officially winter grazing. Storm Ciarán has just passed through. Now it was more of a southern event. I think we got away lightly last night. We had actually a frost last night. It may have hit, I haven't checked the news, it may have hit the south of the country, but I think the worst of it was in northern France and up to southern England. So I think they got the worst of it. So we have up to this point had oceans of rain, and I was in the wettest of the farm all the while through, and I'm now working my way back up the hill. So I have tightened them on a small area for the next 3 days. It's been 3-day moves. They were on the lower place there just behind that fence, and they had access to 4 ditches. Hang on a second, there's a girl roaring at me. What's wrong with you? I'll be with you now in a minute. So there's a spring well right in here, so they have access to there. They can drink from water there, and I'm going to keep them on this and feed them silage tomorrow and the next day, and we're going to continue with our 3-day moves but on a smaller area, and I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I am on the side of a hill and it's that bit drier. Now, more news as well. Do you see this thing here? That little sheep does not belong to me. Now, she is with me here for the last week. I don't know, there's 2 suspects that could own that. But she's not mine anyhow. But anyhow, she's doing no harm. The cattle were a little bit spooked when they saw her first, but they've gotten used to her. And it's funny enough now, she's very fond of the cattle. She doesn't want to leave them at all. So she's on her own, so she kind of, as a flock animal, she has that herd instinct. She wants to be amongst her own, but sure, these will have to do for now. Here's a funny thing now I'll show you also. Do you see my bull above up here? He's like a dairy cow. He goes down on his knees under the fence. Now he's literally only after coming in here with the rest of the cattle, but he likes to go down on the knees and say his prayers that he'll get greener grass. Can you see him there now? So for a while there, Maverick, get out of the way. For a while he was getting under the fence. Well, I found out it was earthed in the corners. But he was obviously walking his way out or kneeling his way down. I know, she's back. So yeah, he likes to get his head under the fence. Well, Maverick, how are you getting on? So I've no major news, only that the sun is now shining, and I'm going to take advantage of this improvement in the weather. For now, there's more rain coming. We're not over it yet. They say that it's going to. I was watching the long range forecast last night, and they were saying that we're still under the effects of El Nino, which is that oscillation below in the South Pacific of warm and cold waters, that it's causing a trickle down the line effect on our weather up here. So we're going to be under the influence of that for the next couple of months. There's another low pressure going to come through the weekend, but it's not going to be as intense as Storm Ciarán was. Well, he wasn't up here anyhow in the north. So we have blue skies today, and ground conditions are improving as I go up. So that is all the news with me. Nothing major happening. Only my bull has gone back down on the knees again. It's funny how he does that. He'll work his way all the way around that fence. So you definitely need to have power, that fella. He realises there's power there now. So is there anything else to report? Nothing else to report. I will put this onto a little video tomorrow, and we will update on how things are getting on as we move forward in our winter grazing and feeding program. So they have nice picking for today and back to the silage tomorrow. So we'll chat then. So we're now 24 hours later, Friday the 3rd of November, and another good day actually. It's nice to see them blue skies. So I'm just at the feeding the cattle here. I gave them plenty of silage. So as I was saying earlier in the video, I've tightened them up. I'm on 3-day moves. I'm keeping a close eye on their stomachs coming in. And I'm also keeping a close eye on what grass is left after our first 24 hours of picking. So that's what I'm doing, and that's how I'm judging whether I can get the 3rd day out of it. And it's looking like I will get a 3rd day out of this restricted sized area. So I am taking advantage of the good ground conditions, and I'm trying to slow them up. So that I'm on that good dry silage now for the next 24 hours. And we will come in tomorrow. I'll survey the condition again. If they're full looking, then I will continue to give them the same amount of silage. And if they're a little bit empty looking, I will give them that little bit more. So I don't want to be overfeeding because it's costly. And I don't want to be underfeeding because it's detrimental to their condition. So it's all about the grazer's eye, I suppose. Now, they weren't mad calling when I arrived here, but they like to see that silage coming. We still have our sheep above. No one has come to claim that lady yet, so she can stay there, no panic. And everything is grand. So we have 10 piles of silage left out. There's 1, 2, 3. They tend to go around at each pile and pull a little mouthful out of each of them until they find out that there's nothing really major difference in any of them. So they go and they kind of group up in their little packs and ate away at their silage. So they're full and content. They've lots in front of them, and I will be back in 24 hours. So 3-day moves, the smaller areas. I'm trying my best. We're going, as I say, up the hill, and in here is a field that I was on last March when I was getting ready for calving. And it's a lovely dry place. I will be giving them smaller and smaller areas as ground conditions improve. Obviously, when we have wet ground and wet weather, I give them a larger area, and I keep them on it for 2 to 3 days. 3 days if I possibly can. And as the ground conditions, like the side of this hill, becomes available, and when I'm on it, I tighten them and still try to get my 3 days out of it. So that is how I'm managing the weather we've been getting. So yeah, I'm happy enough now that they haven't overly grazed this. They probably won't really rely so much on the grass on day 2. They'll have plenty silage, and then day 3 it'll be all silage. But when that silage is gone this evening, they will pick around again at that, and whatever they want. They can even go through them rushes and find a few long ribby bits of grass, and it'll keep them content. Even if it's not going to fill them up, I'm hoping they will be full already, but it'll keep them occupied. So you don't want them bored, especially in a small area. Keep them mentally right as well. So yeah, that is the situation on the 3rd of November, day 3 of winter, official winter. The next move after this is going to go across the far side of that fence there, in across the hedge there, the same area again. That's where they're going to go the day after tomorrow, which will be Sunday. Yeah. Which will be 6 days, so we're just under a week, so it's a week, so 6 and 18. Yeah, you not find the days going by. Every day you can gain is an extra, is a day less than winter that you have to be worried about. But the sun is just out now. I'm really enjoying this good weather, so I'm going to go back now. I have my girls up there climbing trees. I better bring them home and we'll get a cup of tea. So yeah, so for now I will say a little update. I'll say good luck and goodbye.